Welcome back, everyone, to the LCS Challengers League. You might be wondering what happened to the Rally Cry halftime segment. What happened to Sierra? Well, maybe that first game kind of broke her internet here. So we'll be hopefully getting her back in sooner rather than later. But until then, we will be getting into our second game of the day, Joshi. And we do have a little bit of talking to do before we get to this one.
Yeah, after the game ended, we did get a tweet from Shochi saying that I didn't mean to pick that champion. It's not what I wanted to play that game. So, unfortunately, Cincinnati Fear not able to adapt to the new picks that they were going for. But Wildcard did pick up the game, and Cincinnati Fear says, hey, we'll bounce back game 2. At least now we're going to use our actual prep for this series. So, we'll see what the new plan is for Cincinnati Fear in this next game.
All right, we'll be getting into that game now. Let's go ahead and bring up the draft. We have Wildcard over there on the blue side this time. Fear on the red with all that draft prep ready to go. We'll see if Wildcard just want to go ahead and ban that Seraphine yet again. It's something that Fear always gets banned against them. But specifically then, what comes after that? Because we saw that Kindred really work out for Keel in game number 1, but you don't necessarily want to give over something like that to Perry, who has had success on it himself.
Yeah, it's definitely a big opportunity for both these top players to kind of jockey for a position, right? We saw that Philip, even in the counter matchup with the Kennen coming through, Philip was getting the better of it and was set up to be a fantastic split pusher. But I think as part of the adaptation that we were seeing, wasn't really able to play for the split pushing, was really focused on actually playing for the team fights, and then asked the question, was the item wrong or was the game plan wrong? And so it's definitely a spot where now Wildcard, they're going to be dictating a lot more of how this draft goes, just naturally being here on the blue side.
Yeah, and we do get the Ziggs ban, the Seraphine ban from Wildcard, rightfully so. We also get that Nico, so that's pretty big. Just taking that pick away from Saligo, but also just taking some more meta picks off the table from Wildcard. And that first pick is going to be very curious to me, but Fear want to go ahead and take away Lens's Xayah, so not going to give that safety to the bottom lane so you can emphasize in the top lane as well.
Yeah, and it's definitely worth noting here that Cincinnati Fear is another team that, when given the opportunity, will usually pick the red side. They aren't as red side focused as Wildcard has been, but it is a spot where you really want to make sure that you can find some of these counter picks for yourself and protect any picks that you get on your third pick and protect them with the bans. But so far, we are still seeing a lot of the enchanters still available, and Wildcard now with the freedom to go what they want. I expect this is probably going to be either the Kindred or an Aphelios pick here for Lens.
Gotta be the Kindred. That pick was so... And I know you were talking a little bit about it in game number 1, where it's like, oh yeah, if you get ahead, it looks so good. It feels so good.
Yeah, but you don't need to. Like, it's still good.
Yeah, you don't need to. And that's what I love it so much. And you get that aggressive stance from Keel that you need to have. Now, Fear look like they might be going right back to something they grabbed super early in game number 1 on blue side and trying to work out that prep they were going for. Maybe it's just the same draft, you just changed the Katarina pick.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like this already, right? We have seen the Rel Wukong be a pretty good combination for a couple of teams already, even just this week, now that we are on 13-12. And so Cincinnati Fear, they are creating a situation where they can go for a lot of these big plays, but the question always is, right, we have seen that a lot of teams that love playing this engaged style just get stuffed entirely by the first pick that Wildcard have already had. If you give even more disengaged tools to Wildcard, I'm really worried for the Cincinnati Fear draft, and if Dombre can showcase that he can play a Janna, I think the game ends on the spot.
Janna, or do we just want to see the lollipop-and Nautilus yet again? Like, honestly, if you have that kind of buff, you just take that one all day. The Aphelios does end up coming through, though, for Lens, so a little bit of late-game scaling coming through.
Yeah, I'm just saying, if anybody wants to tweet at Riot August with a couple of those clips, you're going to get a lot of impressions for free. But now Wildcard, not going for the Janna, but another disengaged character in the Braum, will be able to stop a lot of the attacks coming through from Cincinnati Fear. And I mean, I really like this. They're setting up for Lens to be the main character of this composition. They have the tools to keep him alive. They have a lot of tools to make sure people don't get to him in the first place. And so this is an opportunity already for Lens to play relatively aggressively like we were asking at the beginning of the day.
We also get the Minui Kaisa here as well. So something else to think about is that follow-up to the engage that Fear already have. But you've also got to start looking at the second phase, because a lot of things left open for Wildcard. A lot of solo lane focus should come through for Fear, where on the other side you have the similarity, right? This is the first time that I feel like we don't typically get solo laners picked at all in the first phase.
Yeah. And now we'll see what solo laners are actually taken off the table. But kind of as we were touching on, I really like Wildcard's draft so far, right?
Yeah.
We were kind of setting up for Len's last game to be like, how aggressive is he going to play? It is worth noting they did go for the Kraken Slayer build instead of the Static Shiv, which was fine, right? Like, it didn't really change the outcome of the game whatsoever. But as we look at this one, I'm definitely expecting Manui to have a little bit more focus on trying to get some of that wave push. Make sure that you have that mixed damage, because so far Cincinnati Fear, a little bit physical damage build.
Yeah, for sure. Opting into one strategy is definitely never the right way. I also like the Syndra ban towards Shochi. It's a classic for him. The Annie, so taking away some of that point and click CC that you can have, and something that gives Saligo a lot of breathing room in the mid lane.
Oh yeah, I mean, this has been one of Saligo's better characters, right? I feel like this and Saligo's Orianna have been some of the most impressive things he has played so far. And then, of course, the Lissandra, another thing that also can do a lot of work this game if they do choose to go for that. But the Jax taken away from Philip, and now we get to see which one of Fear's solo laners they want to reveal first, because we do know that Zamudo is going to get not going to be able to get counterpick unless Cincinnati Fear gives it over.
There's no way they don't save counterpick for Philip in the side lane. It will be the Ahri. So another Static Shiv user potentially here. I mean, we get the double dip in for Fear, but also a lot of mobility out of mid lane. I think that's what I like the most for Shochi.
Yeah, I mean, Shochi has showcased the ability to be very aggressive. It's not the Vi Ahri, but the Wukong Ahri is not super far behind. And I was saying, this was looking like a pretty good Lissandra draft already. Now that the Ahri is here, this has been Saligo's go-to counterpick against things like the LeBlanc and the Ahri. They are locking in here, and if there's one character I'm expecting Saligo to be lane dominant on, it's actually this Lissandra. He has been so good at piloting this champion through the course of his career. Now, the only question we have left is, how does Zamudo want to be playing this game? We've seen a lot of Gragas from him, and the Gragas also pairs into the rest of the game plan super well. You just create so much space for Lens, and you knock people out of the Lamster's fight.
Yep, you just have to be able to take that one away there. And also, a lot of strength from the solo lanes like you were mentioning, but specifically for Saligo, he locked down Shochi in a matchup that Shochi did not want to have, for sure, game number one. But he still locked him down. He locked him in. He caged him up and said, you look really nice right there. We're just going to keep you there. Can they do that again? Is Shochi able to get something out of lane is the biggest conversation now, because they have to. We actually get Phillips Yone coming through at the last moment as well. Yeah,
interesting. We are going to be seeing this going up towards the top side for Philip, and it's not a character we have been seeing up in the top lane for quite a while. But it is worth noting now that can be going things like the Gale Force. You have a couple of tank builds that are very viable on this champion right now. I'm a little bit surprised it's taken this long to come into the draft, but we keep looking at this. This is a question of the immovable object and the unstoppable force, right? Cincinnati Fear are going to be diving headlong into Wildcard every single time, and it's going to be super important for them to try and find these off angles. And this prep coming through that they were talking about, right? We get to use our prep now. This is a spot where I don't think Fear automatically loses, but I feel as though Wildcard's game plan is just so much easier to execute. You don't need to go for any of these flanks, where Cincinnati Fear have put the burden of execution on themselves to win this game.
The bar for Wildcard is here. The bar for Fear is here. You just got to be able to get that. Pull it up. You got to make it there.
It's the weirdest Olympic event, like, oh, I get the same number of points if I jump over a lower bar? Let's go.
Let's do that. Yes, laziness. Let's go. Anyways, we're getting into game number 2 of our day. I have broken Joshi. We've got Wildcard here on the blue side, Fear on the red side. Fear looking for a little bit of a comeback from that game number 1, going to their prep and bringing it out. Also, if you make the right choice, it's the subscribe now choice. And you also get all the cool little emotes like the one of Joshi right there, pushing his little light up glasses.
I need to get a charging cord for my new ones.
You still have, that was last week, bro.
Dude, I forgot. Right? It's the kind of thing where it's like, oh yeah, every time I see it, I'm like, oh, I should go buy a charging cord for that. And then I leave. It's because it's one of the older style chargers. It's not like the new micro USB, or it's not the USB-C 3.0, whatever the new one is called. Like
Technology.
It's the old one that you use on like the old Samsung phones. Ooh. Micro USB, I want to say.
Yeah, go like one of those specialty shops.
Yeah, I get the correct from production. So,
Thanks, Jay. Shout out to Jay, our producer.
Also, shout out to our observers. We do have Susanna and Sam Price, who are currently our observers today. And as we do get into this one, we are going to be seeing it is going to be another mirrored start. Now, we did see Perry drop a lot of camps to try and be aggressive in game 1, and unfortunately didn't end up working out for them. But it's not as though you can't go for something aggressive again. Now you are still on the Wukong. You have a lot of early play.
I specifically love to see Shochi still throwing up the thumbs up. You know, he hasn't changed. That game 1 won't change, won't break a man. All right, but maybe Keel going to mid lane might. As Keel will get that early path level 2 gank into mid lane.
Wow.
Won't actually get, unless Shochi steps up here. This could be a big moment for Wildcard. He'll show.
Yeah, okay, and Keel does have to go back into his own jungle. That's a big tempo loss going for a look here, right? If Celigo gets level 2 a little bit faster there, Flash W probably gets them the kill. Not going to be able to find it this time, and so it is just going to be Keel a little bit behind in terms of pathing, but I do actually really like the look.
Looks are looking good as JJ just going for a bit of vision. Make sure that no invades are going to be coming out from Keel. Keel's pretty good about navigating the map last time around. But also something was how quickly these two supports got out on the map and started roaming. We saw Perry actually get a lot of help early on from JJ, but it didn't really amount to as much as you'd want. Maybe looking for a little bit of the same in this game too.
And it's definitely going to be a spot where if you can build a lead here for Philip, once again, he is going to be a terror in the side lanes. We got to see last game, again, going for the Jax, didn't necessarily go for the hole breaking after building the hole breaker, but this is a situation where the split push becomes even better for Philip because he's a manaless champion, right? He can absolutely build situations where Zamudo is not going to be able to play in the side lanes because he has run out of opportunities to farm. And so I wonder what version of Yone we are going to be seeing from Philip. You still have a variety of different options, and as long as the build and the playstyle end up working together, it should work out quite well.
I really like this. I was just highlighting getting JJ out on the map as this rel is so crucial. They'll try and visit Celigo as he steps up. Should be able to get out of that one. This quick move from Celigo still gets charmed in the end. Keel's coming right around the corner though, and you do have a nice amount of damage from this duo early on. Perry's here though, 3v2. Perry finds the engage, but can't get it after the flash comes out from Celigo. And honestly, Celigo's hands are on fire right now.
Yeah, getting out of that, I mean, even using the flash, right? If you use the flash after the Q is already coming out, you still don't dodge out of it. So unfortunately, Perry not able to get that Q, not going to be able to get that damage as Celigo goes back into the mid lane. We are saying that he's being kept down, right? He has looked for some of these big plays in order to try and make sure he can be aggressive in the mid lane.
Donbray just being the bouncer to Keel's mark there. He was already there fighting Perry, knowing exactly where he wanted to go.
Yeah, got to make sure that everybody's IDs are in check as they start moving around, and Keel does get that first mark and going to be shifting towards the top half of the map as well. Celigo's priority is low, and Zamudo has been under his turret this entire game, so I don't know if Keel can do this.
Ooh, and Fear can't follow him up because Celigo is moving from mid. It's Celigo moving out of the charm, man. You better throw some more of those thumbs up, Shochi, because I don't know if it's helping you right now.
Wow. Celigo with the fancy. There's something about watching somebody on a character they're absurdly comfortable on that is just next level, right? And for Celigo, it absolutely has been Lissandra. He was playing on Evil Geniuses previously. Whenever he was on Lissandra, you knew it was going to be one of the games where you just look at Celigo as a next level player. They would say that they would get it every single time the opportunity is there just to make sure that they can win some of these games. It's easy for him to pilot this, and now he's in a really good matchup.
And he also, again, back to the whole conversation we had here, just has a lot of lockdown to the mid lane. That is something that Fear were drafting for. Their prep was to get Shochi combining with the other solo-lated Philip, but also with Perry and JJ, and that's not going to necessarily be possible. I still love to see a forward foot for Fear, though. JJ is constantly out on these roams trying to make something happen.
Hasn't made anything happen yet in this game, right? Going into the mid lane ends up not getting them a whole lot. It ends up being Perry that trades flashes with Celigo. Still looking for opportunities, and we are noting right now that while yes, Philip has done a good job trying to build up a lead in the top side, the lead in the mid lane is building for Celigo. The lead in the bottom lane, as JJ has been roaming out quite a bit, is also building for Let's.
And be able to contest this one as well. Should be another mark to Keel unless Perry can get a steal. JJ's over the wall, getting chunked heavy. Has to use the crash down to get out, but he's not going to make it. First blood straight to Keel.
That should be the mark as well. Getting a lot of extra money here for the Wildcard jungler. They will secure that for themselves. I mean, good stuff from Wildcard. You got to see just this little fancy feat from Keel, right? Dodging out from the stun from JJ. Absolutely a huge difference maker in that fight because he never stopped firing.
And they are just on a roll right now. The composition is looking good for Wildcard. They're going to get first Dragon as well. They've already got Keel on 2 marks. And even with that kind of forward foot for Fear, this is not necessarily a composition you want to be super far behind with, Joshi.
Oh, I mean, there's not a lot of composition you want to be far behind with, but in a diving composition, it is one of the worst. I was wondering how Cincinnati Fear was going to be bouncing back from game 1, right? Because it was not a particularly close game. We knew that there are some mitigating circumstances, but this team we know is a very emotional team. We know that the players, when they're feeling confident, look incredible. But when they're not feeling good, it's really hard for them to kind of bounce back as the comms, oftentimes when you're behind, you start getting quiet, and that is the worst thing that can happen for your team.
And especially for a team like this, wanting to thrive off of momentum and off of togetherness, right? That has been a theme since last split for this squad, and specifically echoed by Perry, by Shochi. And I really, really love that we've gotten to see some of that throughout this split. But things like this, you have to dig yourself out of this hole together. And we'll see this Rift Herald maybe be a play for Fear, but we already have movement from Keel up this way. And he's on 3 marks now since he got the Scuttle Crab RNG on bot side.
Wow. Wow, that's insane. I mean, even the game seems to want Wildcard to win at this point. The one player that we will be looking at again to try and save them is Philip, and he's walking to Keel.
Keel's just waiting around the corner for Philip. Oh, man, like the worst boogeyman. You do get Philip out of there, though, with that sealed fate.
But it still should be Wildcard looking to pick up this Rift Herald uncontested now that Philip has no ultimate. Perry's not around, and Minui and JJ trying to be aggressive.
Yeah, you got a little bit of damage on Dombre. He's not super tanky. Will burn the flash. The burning is not going to be enough. Fear do press in the 2v2, and that's what you like to see.
Yeah, ooh, really dangerous spot now. Shochi coming down for the dive.
Shochi just going for it. They need to make something happen. Dombre finally goes down. Shochi will have to burn a cleanse from his spell book, but gets out.
Good stuff from Shochi. Good movement, committing the ultimate early to make sure you can prevent Dombre from leaving. And so, small opportunities here for Cincinnati Fear, but still in the mid lane. Oh, if Philip had ultimate there, that would have been a kill.
Oh, a little bit worse for wear up here for Zamudo. If he still had that ult.
Yeah, I mean, that's what so much of this game, or in this series, has felt like, right? When Shochi got caught in game 1 by the flash from Dombre, not being there for that Baron and that fight, it could have been super, super good for Cincinnati Fear, but they were just down a player. Now, Philip just down an ultimate. That's the difference between getting a solo kill and not in that interaction. And so, Cincinnati Fear, they are still finding themselves at a little bit of a deficit, and oh my god, so much of it still, even after that kill, has to be in the mid lane. Look at that, 20 CS basically by himself, even after he lost his flash to Perry.
Yeah, I mean, you've got like 10 to 15 floating for Keel, you've got like 10, 15 floating for Lens, solid 20 there consistently for Sligo. It is these passive advantages and the map control that is really leading to Wildcard's early advantages, and they do have this Rift Herald on the play. They do still have a lot of options to increase that gold as well. We'll be looking at mid or bot for Keel to go to next.
I also want to point out that one of the things that has been interesting to watch about Wildcard is, especially in this new iteration, they are more likely to decline a fight than any other team in the league. They're more likely to be like, yeah, we could handshake and just go for the fight around the dragon, or we could not. And that has been something that Wildcard has been really, really good at. They only are taking fights where they are setting themselves up. The only other team that I feel might be better than them is Team Liquid, but now they're the ones asking if Fear want to fight.
And right now the answer from Fear is no, we're going to flash away, so that's a heck no from Perry, as he don't want none part of that. And I think Wildcard definitely have some breathing room for themselves on the bottom side. Looks like Fear want to try to make a cheese play on bottom with Perry going for a lane gank. I don't know if it's going to be enough if Wildcard step forward. They are playing pretty aggressively, and there we go. The crash down comes through. The killer instinct from Manui, and instantly Lens is gone. He got TPs coming in, though, to try to join. Donbray getting low. He goes down. Saligo should make it out of this one. No, he gets locked out. CC to heck, and a double kill for Perry. That togetherness is coming online.
Oh, in top lane, Zamudo. Oh, he gets it at the end.
Cool guys don't look at explosions, says Zamudo.
Wow, I was just praising Wildcard in their willingness to not take so many of these fights, but this is one, as soon as the fight starts, Wildcard rallying to try and save their bottom side, and Cincinnati Fear not letting them get away with that at all. The leads that we were seeing building up for Wildcard completely neutralized in that last fight, and now Cincinnati Fear, they're in a perfect position to try and play for this upcoming Dragon as they get so many big buttons coming out. I love this look from Perry, right? Trying to find an opportunity to pick up the members of Cincinnati Fear after they went for the play. This was clearly something Wildcard were not immediately prepared for, and they just don't have the damage to turn things around afterwards.
Yeah, they didn't have the information. They were playing so confident bot side there. Oh, if this is a 2v2, we're good. Like, we can play aggressive. Oh, we see playing so far back down there, and that's a beautiful call out. But Philip at the top side versus Zamudo, man.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that Zamudo is now coming out on top is really big for Wildcard because this was looking like an opportunity for Philip to start carrying the game.
Oh, Will, we can't talk about much of the replay because we're right back into a 3v3, turning into a 4v3 as Philip is gone, making a 4v2, 5v2.
Look at that, Wildcard, as soon as someone says go, everyone's like, okay, yes sir, everybody's teleporting in. Zamudo comes in for the end of the fight, and this is a big wave crash coming through as well, but Wildcard have already seen a lot of people mid.
They are going to try to catch out Shochi. Everfrost dueling going on, but they have so much slow, and the cask is back available again. Shochi has one more Spirit Rush, but a big old belly comes over the wall, and Zamudo gets himself a second kill.
Oh, that's super tragic there for Shochi. His first ultimate canceled out by the body slam. His second ultimate canceled out by the ultimate of Zamudo. Oh, so much of mobility just lost. And that's a bit of a tilt there. Hopefully Shochi bounces back from that one because
Keep throwing those thumbs up. I believe it's you, Shochi.
Yeah. I mean, the self-described anime protagonist, right? Constantly looking for these opportunities to showcase that he is the new Hokage, but it is going to be a Wildcard with the gold lead once again, and in places that I wasn't necessarily expecting it to be. The fact that it is now Zamudo with 2 kills up on the top side of the map over Philip. It's going to be really tough for Cincinnati Fear to deal with. He's going for what looks like a Blade of the Ruin King Rush, which is oftentimes paired with the tools to split push really heavily.
And then you want to try to find that strength in the side lane because right now you are not winning those team fights. And I don't know if you ever were really going to, right? You're honestly looking for big picks in the team fights to get those resets for Shochi, but actually Philip getting stopped here. Cask is coming back up. The nightmare is about to begin. Once again, he has it. He's just baiting Philip as now that Sealed Fate does come through, saves his day. Zamudo not going to burn the cask, but he will push this lane in, and Philip has no way back to the lane.
Yeah, this is creating such a big opportunity here for Wildcard again, as we got to look towards the bottom side at the same time. Nothing in League of Legends happens in isolation. Saligo might get caught.
Zamudo, he has the cask and fade away. What did we say? Cool guys don't look at explosions. Well, he's about to put his sunglasses on here. As he does get this proxy wave going through. Not going to end up finding Philip. Keel on the bottom side, though, trying to be proactive himself. Get a second dragon for Wildcard.
Yeah, and a bunch of waves getting denied from the top side of the map. Wildcard now with control of almost everything, so Ligo can move into a position where he can partake in the fight. This is a really tough spot. Perry and JJ need to sync up if they want to have any chance for this fight.
They burn this so fast. You will have a little bit of movement from... Oh, Saligo actually finds the engage. This is not a fight that Fear wanted as everything's connecting from Wildcard. You got a bit of a disconnect issue coming through from Fear. Everybody falls. Shochi makes it out alive, but Wildcard are steaming full ahead.
And Saligo on this Lissandra, not going for the R like people might have expected, but going for Perry, locking down the Wukong. He's not tanky yet. Gets blown up instantly. At least Philip is still going to be able to pick up this topside turret, but it's a small prize to pick up after seeing so much of the rest of the map go wrong.
We'll take a look back at that one as well. Saligo's flank is huge, and this was just Fear overextending a bit.
Yeah, I mean, they look for the one person on Cincinnati Fear that can engage, and once Perry is taken out of the picture, there's suddenly no threat to Keel. There's no threat to Lens at all, and they can just run forward to make the plays actually happen. Now they're doing it around the Herald as well.
Shochi's upset at Donbray for stopping his back there. Donbray makes it out alive. A Spirit Rush had to be used, the Lamb's Spite as well. As you got Zamudo over the wall. Rift Herald will be spotted out here. Shochi going to use that Spirit Rush to try it again. He got TP coming in for Philip. This could be the big combo. He got the Rift Herald down, though. Believe it went to Wildcard. Perry getting a little bit low. Everfrost connects. Cast! Oh. And what did we say? Zamudo is stepping forward. It doesn't matter. They might try to fight him. Philip goes for him. He's trying to get him, but the belly slam stops him. And you get a trade 1-for-1 in that little engage. And the roof comes through, and Philip has to flash. Everyone from Fear on skin of their teeth health. Lens goes on a killing spree.
Oh, looks like it might have been good for Cincinnati Fear. They are so close to taking down multiple members of Donbray living. Zamudo staying alive for so long. Cincinnati Fear. Oh, I was hoping that Prep would put them in such a strong position, but it looks as though Wildcard just standing tall. Stylistically, maybe super favored here, right? We have been saying that they love playing the scaling style, the more defensive style, and Cincinnati Fear trying to go on all cylinders, just getting stuffed again.
Yeah, I mean, last split, Wildcard were the team that you made it past 25 minutes. You were just going to lose the game, it felt like, every time. And it's definitely feeling a little bit like that here as a really big early advantage for Wildcard. They also are just getting so much good RNG for Keel. He's already on 6 marks. He was on 4 like a couple minutes ago, and now he's on 6. So it's feeling really good, and they're feeling a lot more confident to move out on the map. We did get resets coming through, and you see that gold lead helping with that confidence.
Yeah, and as I start moving forward, Zamudo, I mean, this is a lot of damage. Dude, oh my god.
Dude, Zamudo, man. He's trying to get the body slam in, but can't do it. Shochi got to throw up the thumbs up one more time, but that's the Spirit Rush gone after using his TP as well.
Dude, I also have to say, I think Zamudo is the most stylish top laner that we have in the league, right? Watching him play things like this Gragas, okay.
Charmed. He still wants to go for it. Gonna go golden to dodge that third tower shot there. Doesn't get a nice chunk back though. Has the cask available. Looking for the solo. He wants it. Shochi, the overcommit from Zamudo, will be piloted by Fear, and Perry picks up his kill.
Still, there's some style points there, but Shochi going over with a big gold, a lot of money going right on back, but the rest of Wildcard still pushing up here in the mid lane, trading it for the bottom lane turret. Wow, I mean, we are still seeing Shochi still being able to bounce back. Perry is still a massive player for this team, trying to make a lot of the engages happen, but it is going to be a mid lane turret here that goes down. It's a lot of free real estate for Soligo to try and look for a lot of these blanks. Cincinnati Fear, it's not over yet, but I think the next dragon is probably going to be the big spot where we will have to see Cincinnati Fear reasserting themselves as in this game. They need to find a flank, and it's probably going to be entirely on Perry to do it.
I love that Soligo has the Rift Herald in pocket, by the way. He's just, mid laner with quick backs. Too good. Too good. Also do want to highlight Keel a little bit more, because as we've evolved into the series, both games now, Keel has truly been the weapon of Wildcard on this Kindred. I think it's actually been incredible how he's been pathing, but also how he's been responding to a lot of the influences from the map.
Yeah, he's not stylish in the way that Zamudo is, but he is definitely a player that is consistently making good decisions and asking the right questions of Cincinnati Fear. And I think it is worth noting, right, when someone like Spawn says you're the most underrated player in the league, like that is a big nod going over to a
Coach
player
Spawn.
like Keel. Yeah, Coach Spawn.
Yeah,
not player Spawn.
Not player Spawn, even though, maybe he has the same words. But yeah, it's huge praise to come from a guy who has known so much success in our scene and in developing talent as well, to get the shout out for Keel. And he's represented today. You're trying to make good on the comments as we do get a tier 2 up in the top side going down. Keel will burn that flash.
Dodges everything.
He's just dodging out of literally everything. And Philip is almost half health, gets knocked up in the end as well. And Wildcard with Soligo on a flank could look for something. Well, it's just Zamudo dip at the top side.
Yeah, I mean, this is, again, Wildcard declining to fight. By the time they get everything they can ask for, now they're ready.
Oh my god, the Rift Herald's still going. Philip is just now backing. He has TP, but it's already too late. The Dragon is all eyes of Wildcard. Philip has to stay, get the engage from JJ. Moonlight Vigil onto the backline, though. Zamudo is buying so much time. This Lamb's Respite is a big moment, though. Doesn't matter, because Lens and Saligo are still alive. And it's Wildcard that take the fight yet again. One more follow-up, one more damaging moment, and Lens will clean house here. A double into a triple, and a Dragon Soul point for Wildcard.
Oh my god, the way that Wildcard is setting up for these fights, they still get the inhibitor with the Rift Herald just going off in the side lane. But I love the way that Saligo is playing these fights. He's setting up the rest of his team for so much success. We said that might have been the last hurrah for Fear. I don't know how they try and come back from this position.
It's really difficult. They literally lost an inhib to a Rift Herald in topside while they were trying to force a fight there. The consistent stopping of backs against Philip there by multiple members of Wildcard. You were talking about good decision-making for Keel. It's just been good decision-making from Wildcard here. We've seen a couple lapses, especially in that first game. But man, this game too, since that like 12, 13-minute mark has been clean.
And now they're starting to set up towards the top half of the map. They know that this down inhib will create a lot of pressure. They have the double marksman that can just be hitting his Baron for free, and they're creating such a big blocker.
All right, this might be one of those overextensions unless they're just baiting Fear out into a team fight yet again. Look at Zamudo, man! He is an immovable object as you have that sealed fate immediately sealing the fate of Philip right back onto the Baron. They want that big purple worm.
Yeah, Wildcard definitely just look like they are on more of the same page than members of Cincinnati Fear. Can Shochi pull a miracle out of his hat?
He's going to try to do so, already popping that Spirit Rush, going over the wall. He doesn't get it with the Smite Spellbook, and that is all she wrote for the Baron contest of Fear.
Oh?
Got the Turo Baron buff coming in plenty here, as they will end up getting a return for Saligo's fall. But it's a big moment for Wildcard to reset and get back onto the map.
Yeah, this Turo Baron buff should probably be enough for them to start looking to close out the game, right? They're getting back on the field. Saligo does end up going down, and a great play coming through from Inui at the very end. But so far, Wildcard, like you were talking about, just on the same page, just making really good decisions around all of these objectives. And unfortunately, I was really looking forward to this match. I was expecting Cincinnati Fear to be swinging the entire time, but it definitely doesn't look as though Wildcard has even been giving Cincinnati Fear opportunities to get in the game. Every single time a fight has come up, it's been Wildcard dictating how it happens. Cincinnati Fear has never been able to get a fight that they wanted to start.
And that's what I love so much about this, is it literally a turning of the hat here for Wildcard. Fear is usually the team that look, Fear all strong together. They find a lot of all-ins together and try to get a lot of advantages as a team. And it's Wildcard making that parry, trying to go in over there in Solo Bolo territory. Shochi trying to follow him up, but it might have just been a bait into their death. Philip just wants to be involved with the team, but Zamudo says no, as the Lamb's Respite comes out, sealing the fate of Fear. A double kill for Lens, as he's truly stepping up, but his team is making it so damn easy. Easy kills, easy life, as Wildcard are looking at 2-0 Fear.
I like the look at the end, but it's too little, too late. We didn't even notice this, but the Nexus turret died to the Rift Herald as well, while everything else was happening. Wildcard coming out with a clean 2-0, and I think definitively answering which one of our non-LCS teams is going to be looking the best so far in this first round robin. It is Wildcard, who are continuing to showcase that it doesn't matter how the members move around, who the new players are, these guys are still ready to play.
Yeah, it's really incredible to see them come back. Because, again, and we'll take a look at the gold graph here. It's two of our old provisional teams. It's two teams that were contesting for our best provisional teams in the league last split. And you get to see different versions of them, right? We were talking a little bit about the spider people meme coming through and just seeing kind of what these differences lie for both teams. And now that we're through our first round robin, I think we can safely start to assume things going forward.
Yeah. I mean, just seeing the way that they were playing, right? The fact that Wildcard, they were sitting at third, tied with Disguise at the beginning of the day. They got 2 wins here. If depending on how FlyQuest series ends up going, that could be putting Wildcard in sole possession of 2nd place, which is really, really exciting, right? We were talking about how Team Liquid were doing even better than their performance that they had in summer 2022. Now Wildcard are also outperforming the expectations that they set for themselves just this year.
They are indeed. Now we are going to sit to a little break where we will have our Verizon post-game interview right afterwards, so don't miss it.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Hello everyone and welcome to our Verizon post-game interview, and welcome Keel from Wildcard. Nice 2-0 victory to be ending off the week, and as well, really strong performance through this first round robin. Ended up in like 2nd or 3rd overall in the standings so far. How are you feeling?
I'm really happy with the game 2 we played today. So pretty good right now, feeling good. I think we've been getting a lot better over the split.
And then summary for the first round robin for you and the team, because coming into it, got a bunch of new teams swapping things up. How do you feel like things went overall for the team for you?
I think I feel like even day to day, week to week, so much of our team is like changing and getting better, which is kind of a rare feeling. Like I think a lot of teams struggle to like tangibly improve. So in respect to that, I think we're getting a lot better. And I know what like we have to do. So I think pretty good.
Awesome to hear. So then for that first round robin, what do you think is one of the biggest lessons or one of the biggest things that you or the team have learned that you're taking into that 2nd round robin?
A lot of it is just like when to engage, like when to be patient, like pretty much like what our coach said after game 1 is like it's just regular season, like just engage if you think it's a good engage, and then that way you'll actually get better. Like, just no reason to be scared, essentially. And I think it showed a lot in our game 2. We were playing with so much more confidence, and it was a lot harder for the enemy team to play as a result.
It was definitely, I think Joshi described as a little bit boring because Wildcard just came out of the gate and did its thing, so congratulations there. And I want to talk about your performance during this first split, because even the coach at TL, Spawn, was tweeting out saying that you might be the most underrated player that we have in the NACL so far. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised just because it was kind of out of the blue. Like, I felt that I've been doing like really good myself. And especially this split, I think I'm learning so much. Like, the way I'm able to play the game, like I'm able to play and like how I want to. And my team like really believes in me, and I'm enabled to do the things I want to do in game. So yeah, first just thanks to Spawn for like seeing and like shouting me out, and then I think it's true. I think I am like easily a top jungler in the league, and I'm glad I'm able to show it. Yeah.
It's definitely been exciting to see you play so far in NACL, so keep it up, especially heading into the 2nd round robin. Now that the long weekend is done too, and everyone's preparing for the 2nd split, final question before I send you off. If you have any fun plans with the team or anything that the team likes to do during the week, unwind for the next set of games, or is it just all about that grind?
The only thing I'll be doing, my birthday's in a couple days, so maybe just go out to eat. But other than that, just playing League. I've been like running. It's kind of it.
Well, first off, happy early birthday. That's super exciting.
Thanks.
Hopefully next weekend you just get a bunch of birthday wins for yourself there.
Yep.
But thank you so much for chatting with me here. Before I let you go, if you have any shout outs or any final words.
Shout out APA. We're 2-0ing him next week. That's all.
all right. Iskill, have a good rest of your day. Thanks again, okay?
Yep, fine. Thank you.
All right, some fighting words to be ending off our interview, and a fight on the horizon as Team Fish Taco are going up against AOE for our next series of the day. We're going to be taking a short break, but be back here soon.
The LCS Challengers League is brought to you by Turo, the world's largest car-sharing marketplace. Find your drive.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the NACL Update. Not only do we have 2 weeks of Challengers action to get you through, but we also have OQs going on alongside our Challengers League. To update you on all things OQs, we have Summer to help us out.
Hey Challengers League fans, Summer here with an update from the NACL qualifiers. We've got some super exciting teams fighting for spots in the Summer Promotion Tournament later this split. So far, there's one team that stands out as the clear frontrunner, and that team is Mirage Alliance. With Alorum, Neo, and Dardoch, this team is stacked with LCS experience. Even Chad got a game on the big stage. These guys not only have years of experience, but also some strong recent performances. Sudsy recently played on Team Tony Top, who won enough to promote in spring, and Dardoch and Alorum were parts of the Collegiate Championship winning UST roster earlier this month. Mirage Alliance is currently undefeated in their series, including a 5-0 finish in the Swiss stage and a win in their first group stage match. Challengers League teams, beware, because if you place too low and go to the promotion tournament, this team is sure to be your biggest competition.
Here at Challengers, when we talk about North America, we're sure that it's not just the US, and we never forget to include our cold friends up north in Canada. So to catch us up, here's Sierra and Beattown with the Canadian update.
Ooh, thanks, Cubby. But so far up here in Canada, it's a hot one, eh?
Us simple Canadians can't handle this hot weather, but hopefully our Canadian players in the NACL have some cool place to help us out.
Oh, look at Zamudo over there, eh? Sometimes you cool down under a large tree, but what about a large rock? Zamudo throwing some shade over Disguised Way with this big engage.
Alright, that was a little cool, eh? A little relief from the heat.
Do we have anything cooler? It's still too hot.
Oh, well, they might be called Team Liquid, but it's Arrow getting dunked under the water by Onat here, and APA can't escape him either. Definitely keeping him and everyone around him cool. Way to get her done.
Wow, so cooling, so refreshing, eh? Just what I needed on a hot summer day.
Oh, wait, Beat, the shade is gone. Help me out.
Oh, well, Spyrex has got your back, keeping it cold and calculated with a minion act so cool, it completely froze Evil Geniuses out of the game.
Thanks, Spyrex. That was cool.
Ah, that's so much better. Thanks to our Canadian players for crushing it as always. Stay cool out there.
We've had a lot of Milio in Challengers, as literally every region can relate. So, here's Kangas himself with a breakdown of what it's like to play against.
Ultra Mega Fire Kick. Cozy Campfire. Warm Hug. Breath of Life.
And that's been it for this summer's first episode of the NACL Update. Thanks to all my friends who helped out, especially Summer from OQs. And until next week, may your week be filled with positive gaming experiences.